Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulonding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
It's a warm reception to our studios here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Sarah Kamara. In the headlines tonight, President's Meet the People tour continues in URR. Alaji Sow of GDC ready to work with President Adama Barrow. Retired General Imeba testifies at TRRC. Filmmakers receive negative comments from Gambians, says newly elected president. On the international scene, U.S. drug agents face tightened control in Mexico. On COVID-19 in Europe, new restriction in place for winter holidays. 17 Nigerian students rescued from Boko Haram to deaths. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. President Adama Barrow on Tuesday started the second phase of his Meet the People tour in the Basse and Jimara constituency, where he got the opportunity to have open dialogue with the people and assured them of his government's commitment of delivering on all the promise he made. Maria Madam tells us more.
President Barrow is currently in his hometown in exercising his constitutional mandate as the president of the Gambia, as thousands of people welcomed him in Jimara and Basse while heading to Kumbija and Soto Masire, where he conducted meetings. In illustrating his ongoing development projects across the country, President Barrow said his government is executing development projects that is unprecedented in the country, as his government has improved on the economy of the country by blocking all doors that previously encouraged corruption. In demanding for development, the people of Kumbija says with the provision of a good water supply, electricity and enhancing agriculture, among other things, will greatly improve their living standards as bona fide citizens of the country, as they express sincere loyalty to President Barrow and his agenda to transform the Gambia into a better country.
We are still requesting to look at the road networks within this constituency. Secondly, Your Excellency, we know that Your Excellency is driven to deliver electricity to every corner of this country. We would therefore appeal to your prospective authorities to connect our humble village to the electricity grid. We are about 3 to 5 kilometers away from Basse. The implementation of electricity in our village will improve social life and social economic activities. We would like to submit your national development agenda and your political desire, not only for the newly constructed bridge, but for your government stand for our beautiful motherland, the Gambia. We would continue to demonstrate.
The National Assembly member for Jimara constituency, Alaji Sow of GDC, while speaking at Soto Masire during the Meet the People tour, announced his full support of President Barrow's development agenda. Maria Madam has rest of the detail.
The National Assembly member for Jimara constituency under the GDC, Alhaji Sow, indicated his full support towards President Barrow's development agenda in the country, saying Barrow possesses leadership qualities as he is developing all parts of the country, whether people support him or not. So further thanked President Barrow for the development projects he brought to Jimara, saying this constituency has been neglected since independence. But within his 4 years in office, Jimara have benefited from different projects. He, however, continued to ask for more projects to be implemented in his constituency, such as good roads, electricity and water, among others. Alaji revealed that he is ready to work with Barrow, but he have to consult his constituency and family first because he got his seat in the National Assembly through the GDC, and it will be very difficult for him to leave the party at this point.
Under the ticket of the GDC in Botanami. What important what the decision me what a console yimbe je be ngandiranta ko ben beddani kam carte e familial on consultation but goal declared or me what PGDC me NPP it will be very difficult. His Excellency Allah jabi ko en golli dobe tan.
In response to Alaji's remarks, President Barrow says he is ready to work with all Gambians, including all MPs, and further urges so to join him in developing Jimara. Maria Madem, reporting for Star TV News.
Retired General Momodu Aliuba appeared before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission today to give accounts of Langtombong Tamba's involvement in the 2006 failed coup and how he himself was released from Mile 2 Central Prison after his prosecution for his alleged involvement in the coup. Binta Koli reports.
Bah denied taking part in the coup since the initial stage when the coup was introduced to him by the ringleader Ndur Cham. General Bah told the commission that after receiving the information, he went to Langtombong Tamba's office to tell him about the planned coup. But he said after he told Tamba the information, he told him to shut up. He said after everything, Langtombong Tamba called him through his only around 1 a.m. to tell him that they have started arresting people they suspected a plan to take part in the coup. He gave the commission both his number and Langtombong Tamba's office number as his evidence. General Bah told the commission how he was unlawfully arrested and detained at the Mile 2 Central Prison.
They also knocked on our main gate. My dad alerted me that I should go and see, who is at the gate. When I opened the gate, I saw some soldiers, fully armed. They said, they were there to arrest me. Then I asked them under whose order and what has happened. They said no, they've been sent to come for me. I said, okay, then allow me to get in and dress up. Then one of them escorted me inside. I dressed up, came out with, with them. And they drove straight to Mile 2. Where I was received by prison officers. I was asked to remove my belongings on me, like my belts, my finger rings, my watch, my shoes, everything. And I was then escorted to security wing number 5. And locked in a one-man cell.
He said he came to know about the reason behind his arrest after 3 days when he was taken by soldiers to the NIA headquarters in Banjul. He said he was handcuffed from prison to NIA. He added that Langtombong Tamba, among others, were present in the panel that interrogated him. According to the ex-general, many people were tortured mercilessly as he has tried to help many of those individuals at NIA. For Star TV News, I am Binta Koli.
The newly elected president of the Filmmakers Association in the Gambia, Essa Jallow, who also doubled as media officer of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission, said there are a lot of negative comments towards Gambian filmmakers and the movies they produce. Jacqueline Corey reports.
The Film Producers Association was established in 2012 with the primary aim of bringing filmmakers to collaborate and amalgamate their technical expertise in order to support the growth and development of the Gambia film industry. The new president, Ensar Jallow, who took over from Babukar Jallow, stressed that the most difficult problem filmmakers faced in the Gambia is the negative response of the Gambians towards the films they produce.
Number one, there's a lot of negativity from the public towards Gambian filmmakers. Any film that comes out and it is Gambian, people quickly would dismiss it. It's another Gambian film, probably they are copying Senegal or they are copying Nigeria or, they are not themselves. That negativity, we wanted to eradicate that. We wanted to show people that Gambian filmmakers are really professional. We have a lot of people, diverse community that we have, that we can produce a lot more that people are expecting.
Mr. Jallow added that people tend to give negative vibes towards film producers because they do not have the right platforms to express themselves. He said another difficult problem they face is putting their content on television for public view.
It's because the film producers don't have the right platform to express themselves. The advent of television in this country was supposed to also rejuvenate the film industry in this country, because we don't have the capacity now to go on the big screens. That means the Hollywoods and the other big ones. But we have the capacity to go on our small screens. That is the television industry in this country. But right now, film producers are facing problems in putting their content on television. What happens to filmmakers is that when you make your film and go to television industry, they would ask you to pay money for your film to be aired on television. That is very, very unusual if you know film and television industry, because the television industry or the television station is supposed to buy content. So it would be very difficult for me to understand how can I invest my money in making a film, yet still I'm asked to pay money to be able to sell that content. That is not how it works. What would work is for the television industry, for the television stations to buy content from filmmakers. If they buy content from filmmakers, they sell that film to the public, and the reward they get from the public is advertisement or sponsorship, and that is where they're going to get it.
Mr. Jallow said he has worked with some TV stations, and as a film producer, you are likely to be asked to look for sponsorship before your movie can be aired. Moreover, the sponsorship amount to be shared with a particular TV station at a rate of 60% to 40%. He said TV stations in the Gambia need to give chance to film producers for them to be able to sell their content to the public. The new president said the main aim of the association at the moment is to help filmmakers build their capacity. He added that filmmakers also need to raise the standards of the films they produce. Meanwhile, in the Gambia, according to research, the Gambia's film and video industry has been evolving at a very low pace since the 1960s, with the establishment of the Gambia Film Unit in 1967. Jacqueline Colley, reporting for Star TV News.
Those were the local stories. We'll be back with the international news after this short break.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jeja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jeja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gosh Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gosh Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gosh on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gosh Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.goshglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh.
And now news beyond our borders. Mexico's Congress has passed a national security law that restricts the powers of U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration agents operating in the country, requiring them to share information with their Mexican counterparts. The U.S. says it is a major setback in the fight against international organized crime network. The law also follows the detention of Mexico's former defense secretary on drug charges in U.S. Al Jazeera's John Holman reports from Mexico City, Mexico.
Enforcement agent.
In fictional series like Narcos, there are barnstorming presence in Mexico. The DEA, the US's drug enforcement agency. In reality, they operate under the radar, but for decades they've been given a wide scope in the country to help take down big-name capos like Joaquin Guzman, El Chapo. But now a game-changing Mexican law aims to put the DEA on a much tighter leash. The government says it's a question of national sovereignty.
The issue here is that if our two countries are going to cooperate, the US has to respect Mexico's area of jurisdiction.
This is the main point of the new law. DEA agents will now have to report regularly to the Mexican government what they're doing in the country and any information that they dig up.
Mexico in combating.
For a former chief of the DEA's international operations, widely sharing previously need-to-know intel in Mexico poses a huge problem.
There's endemic corruption within Mexico's security forces, and this would endanger agents, informants, operations, and investigations. The other problem area is that they're requiring all Mexican officials to write a report every time they have communication with DEA. Well, they're not going to want to answer their phones if they have to do that each and every time.
As law enforcement officials,
the US's outgoing Attorney General was equally worried. The passage of this legislation can only benefit the violent transnational criminal organizations and other criminals that we're jointly fighting, he said in a statement. But what started all this was the US's arrest of Mexico's ex-defense secretary, General Salvador Cienfuegos, in Los Angeles 2 months ago. US officials didn't inform the Mexican government beforehand. The president wasn't happy, and neither was the army, and so talks started in Mexico about putting the DEA under closer control in return. A key question here has become, would the US allow Mexican agents the same sort of powers that the DEA has had for many years down here?
Secretario de la Defensa Nacional.
The US ultimately handed Cienfuegos back, but it seems the damage had already been done. And now this will be a headache for incoming President Joe Biden, as the powers of his drug agents south of the US border will be dramatically reduced. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.
Many European countries are planning to begin a vaccine rollout by the end of December, pending approval by the European Medicine Agency. The World Health Organization says the coronavirus pandemic could worsen in Europe early next year. Now, several European countries, including Germany, are introducing new restrictions over Christmas as they struggle to contain rising numbers of infection and deaths. In Italy, there have been warnings of the national tragedy after the country's Statistics Bureau said deaths this year would be the highest since World War II. Al Jazeera's John Hull has the rest of the reports from London, England.
No one is expecting a normal Christmas, least of all those who've lost loved ones to the pandemic. In London, grieving relatives accused Boris Johnson's government of mishandling its response and demanded a public inquiry.
This is my father, Michael. He died 8 months ago tomorrow. We were hoping that by now lessons would have been learned. They have not been learned. Test and trace is not working, that's very clear. Mistakes keep being made. The government refuses to admit to any mistakes. If one doesn't reflect on one's mistakes, how can they be corrected?
There are concerns that the government is about to bungle Christmas as well, with warnings from the medical and scientific communities about the deadly consequences of plans to relax restrictions so that families can meet. They've provoked a change of advice, not a change of plan.
A smaller Christmas is going to be a safer Christmas, and a shorter Christmas is a safer Christmas. When we say 3 households can meet on 5 days, I want to stress that these are maximums, not targets to aim for.
The UK is not heading into the gloom alone. Germany has gone into a stricter lockdown after previous restrictions failed to bring infection numbers down. On Wednesday, the country reported a record number of coronavirus deaths.
Sehr komisch, das ist nicht normal.
It's very strange. It's not normal. I don't know what these politicians want to do. They've left it all open for too long, and now all of a sudden we had to quickly buy everything in 2 days. We don't know what they're doing anymore.
In Italy, meanwhile, there have been warnings of a national tragedy after the country's statistics bureau said that deaths this year would be the highest since World War II. The government says it's considering small adjustments to the current restrictions. Critics feel much more is required. Many European countries are planning to begin a vaccine rollout by the end of December, pending approval by the European Medicines Agency. Light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel still has some way to go. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera.
One of the schoolboys who escaped captured in northern Nigeria has spoken of his ordeal. Hundreds of students were abducted from school in Katsina State last week. A faction of armed group Boko Haram says it is responsible. So far, only 17 boys have been rescued. Al Jazeera's Katia Lopez reports.
It's been several days since Osama managed to escape from his kidnappers. He's safe at home now, but still reliving the ordeal. His school in Nigeria's northern Katsina state is the scene of a criminal investigation. The man in charge of protecting the school was pushed aside by Boko Haram rebels, who stormed into the grounds and abducted more than 330 children last week, and one of the largest such attacks in years.
After we scaled the fence, we were hearing voices saying that we should come back, thinking they were police officers. Unknown to us, it was the bandits. They then gathered us at a spot. That was when we realized they were bandits wearing military uniform.
But there was another chance to escape. In a joint rescue operation, the military found the kidnappers' base, and as gunfire broke out, many of the victims ran again. Osama was among them.
We'd been walking for so long I was already exhausted. I'm a sickle cell patient, so I had to hold my friend's shoulder, one to my right, the other to my left, before I could continue the treacherous walk into the bush.
Osama's family is glad he's back, but they're all concerned for the boys still missing.
I'm happy, but I can't go out and celebrate because there are other children who are still hiding. Just like the kidnappers took them as a group, I want them all to come back as a group.
The government is negotiating with the attackers to release their captives. Kidnappings are often used as ransom or to force victims into joining armed groups.
We came across young boys that are not as old as the ones that came to kidnap us from the school. Boys in their teens armed with guns in the bush. Some are younger than us.
Back home, Osama is grateful to be alive, but he feels his life may never be the same. Katia Lopez, Al Jazeera.
And before we end the news, a recap of our main headlines. President's Meet the People tour continues in URR. Alaji Sow of GDC ready to work with President Adama Barrow. Retired General Imeba testifies at TRRC. Filmmakers receive negative comments from Gambians, says newly elected president. On the international scene, U.S. drug agents face tightened control in Mexico. On COVID-19 in Europe, new restriction in place for winter holidays. 17 Nigerian students rescued from Boko Haram, 2 deaths. That's all for this edition of the news. Do join us tomorrow for more news. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs. Thank you.